Hey coders, and welcome to this bonus video of SAS for CSS playlist. In this video we will understand how to make a build process for SAS. For this video, Node.js must be installed in your system. See the link in the description to understand how to install Node.js in your system. A build process is just a sequence of tasks that perform automatically, which we run after project completion. The build processes varies from person to person and organization. Some include compiling, concatenating, prefixing, and then compressing. But I believe that concatenation is a process which can be done by SAS itself by importing the CSS file inside the main SCSS file. So my build process will be containing compiling, prefixing, and compressing in this order respectively. Now let's start creating our very own build process. To do this, we have to make this our node project. So open your command prompt and run npm init to initialize a node project in this folder. Give it the same name, version. Keep hitting enter if you don't want to change anything, and I probably don't want to change anything here. So we'll have a package.json file ready, and now let's create some folder for SCSS files and a different folder for our CSS files. So we'll make our SCSS file here, and it will automatically generate CSS file here. So let's create our main.scss file here and give it some styling. For instance, h1 can have a font size of 18 pixel and a background color of, I don't know, blue will do the job. Then we can have a block element, block 1, and give it a display block, and then also give it a background color of orange. Then we can also have a nav bar, and let's give it a width of 100 pixels. Actually, this styling doesn't really matter because this project is more about how to generate a main style.css file from this main.scss file, following standard procedures and making the process automatic using the build process we'll be generating. So you can have any styling inside your main.scss file, whichever you want, or whatever it is in your project when you will be using it in your project. Now we will be writing our scripts inside the package.json file inside this script object, and if you're familiar to Node, you will know that we write our command here, command name here, and command here. And if you're not familiar with that, I just told you. So let's remove this test command and start writing our command for this process. So first of all, we want to compile our SAS file to a CSS file. So let's first command be compile SAS, and let's write the command SAS. And I have told you this command in the second video, so I'll not be describing it here. Just the input file, which will be scss/main.scss and css/style.compile.css as our output file. We will also need a watch command for development purposes, so let's write a watch SAS command, and it is almost as similar except the watch flag, and it goes like this: /style.watch.css. Now go ahead and run the command npm run. This is a command to run the scripts inside the script object. We have to run the command npm run followed by the name of the script, which is compile SAS in here. So we will run compile SAS, and if I run this command, you'll see a SAS file is generated for us here, which says style.com.sass. Now we have our compiled CSS ready. We can move forward to prefixing our CSS file. Now what prefixing actually means is that adding different vendors and different cross-browser rendering stuff into our CSS. For example, if we have an animation, and let us give it 1 second only, and that's it. Let's not create a keyframe here, and we go back to package.json file and recompile our CSS so that we can work on it. Now our CSS file have an animation, but it is not ready for cross-browser rendering. Now if we go to our package.json file and write the command for prefix CSS, and let's write the command post CSS and then the input, which is actually css/style.com.css, and then we say use auto prefixer, and then we give it an output directory, which is here css/, and save this. Now if we run the command npm run prefix CSS, you'll see how our styles.css file now have a WebKit animation. So if we have a lots of cross-browser rendering required stuff in our CSS, we don't need to write them now. They can be auto-prefixed using this command. Now we also want to minify our CSS file. A lot of developers doesn't find this useful, but minifying your CSS file actually saves a lot of time of your users. So to do this, simply write a command and name it minify CSS. The command is sass, and this time our input will be css/style.com.css, and our output will be css/style.css, which is our final file, and we'll say style is compressed. And if we save it and run the command npm run minify-css, we'll see how a compressed CSS file is generated for us. Now you will not notice a big difference in these two files, but in actual world the CSS are a lot bigger than this, and thus the compressed file helps a lot and saves a lot of execution time for your CSS in the browser. And now that we have our all three commands ready, we need something so that we can run all of these commands all at once. So let's install a package for Node. It is called npm run all. So run the command npm install npm run all and hit enter, so that it will install npm run all in our system. And now that npm run all is installed, we can go to package.json and write another command which will be build our CSS file, the final build file, and then we just simply say npm run all, and what we have to run compile sass prefix CSS and minify CSS all at once. Save this file, go back to your terminal or command prompt and run npm run build CSS. Well, that's what it is. Yes, and hit enter. You'll see how it runs all the commands one by one in a sequence, and thus our build process is complete. You can see style.css file is generated. So even if I delete all of these and I go back and run the command, I'll have the same file again. Just for the sake of proof, I am doing this. So you'll see that we have our file generated again. This is our generated file for use in development for production purpose, and this may be used in development purpose if you want to. This is pretty much it for this video. If you haven't subscribed us yet, please subscribe us and hit the bell icon to get notified for our upcoming video. And as always, thanks for watching.